Greetings, everyone. Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. And we got a lot to get into today, but I'm so glad my co-host is here today. Let her say hi. Hi, Tina.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody in the chat room. And hello, everybody from Southampton to Hawaii. And good evening, Tommy. It's good to see you.
Well, it's always a pleasure. So I hope you read the title. I want to bring that out because I'm just going to say what I see happening within this year. The world will know aliens and UFOs are real by the end of this year. I promise you that. All right, and I'll go into some of the details a little bit later. But for any new people that come in, if you're on right now, or when you do listen to this, please stay in touch. Friend me on YouTube so you'll get my links when we do our show. I do shows outside of this as well, but more on the spiritual end of things. But I think they're both just as important right now to what's happening to the world. So please when you go on YouTube, just click friends, and you'll get my links whenever I do a show. So let's get on with today. There's so much happening to the planet itself, and I don't hear people talking much about the reasons and what other things are going on. Sure, they said Turkey was hit and people died. They're not explaining much about the volcano going off. Whether it has anything to do with UFOs, I will tell you this. It has to do with Tesla learned from UFOs and aliens on them. All right. The technology to create earthquakes happened in 1900. The United States government was playing with that, and I'm sure now, which Turkey just admitted, the people in the streets while they were speaking said that the government's been playing with the HARP system and created the earthquakes. So I'll get into that a little bit later, but I just want to stick to the topic right now about why I feel and why we're going to know aliens are here. All right. Tina, you want to say anything first?
Yeah, so guys, just to catch up on a few things from like last week. Again, the UK news has been so impacted. You can't get up-to-date daily news. It's the normal drivel dravel. I can't even get on the day news. It's like a day old. If I go to look on in the UK sky, it's just the globe going around, and we can't get updates on anything. And about 2 hours ago, the independent newspaper in the UK, which is equivalent to your Wall Street Journal kind of thing, with the Times, has said that the government now and certain stores throughout the UK, we're now food rationing as of today, 2 hours ago. So you're only allowed to have 2 or 3 like peppers, 2 or 3 other items like raspberries or strawberries. I think you can have like 1 bag of potatoes. So you're limited and you're going to be rationed on what you can buy due to the flooding and also the droughts in Africa and other countries. So it will be announced in the paper. So people won't see it till tomorrow morning. A lot of people, especially elderly people, don't look on the online news. Only go shopping once a week. So come Friday or Saturday, when they go to do their weekly shop there, unfortunately, there's going to be nothing left for them here. A lot of shelves are empty here in the UK. It's been getting progressively worse. First, they blame COVID. Then they blame restrictions. Then they blame leaving Europe. But we produce our own stuff and we also buy it in. So there's no issue there. We buy a lot of produce from other countries. And I'm not quite sure what's going on. But yeah, as of 2 hours ago, look at the online independent newspaper for the UK has said that we are now food rationing. So we're not in World War One, we're not in World War Two, we're not in a recession, and we're not in a depression, yet we're food rationing for the first time in about 70 years. Unbelievable here in the UK, and yet we are a tiny island flooded by migrants every single day. European people can retire at 62. We have to work towards 72. We've been taxed to death on everything. We're being penalised for everything, and now we're being food rationed. So this one here. So this one here is from my good friend Giorgio Tuclos. Sent this. If you see it there, he signed it for me. To Tina, galactically yours. So that's this year, last year when I met Giorgio, and I also have. And that's actually from the Sphinx. That is the stone in front of is it the Dream Star? The Dream stone in front of the Sphinx. That's from Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens. And the other one you'll see me here with, I've got 2 or 3 with me and Giorgio. I have this one here, and I've got another 1 or 2 of them. This is when I met Giorgio at the Gaia stand for Gaia TV. Me and Giorgio Tsoukalos there, if you can see that, guys. And then I also have another couple of ones, and I'm also sharing the stage this year again for the second time. Will be the 30th of May in the Devizes in Wiltshire at the Corn Exchange. I'll be speaking alongside Ancient Alien star Gary Hesseltine. He's just released his new book, so I believe I'm talking and giving a lecture and talk in the morning, and Gary from Ancient Aliens and UFO Youth Truth magazine will be sharing a stage with me. So hi for TJ, I haven't seen you in a good while, and I've been on the top 10 list for ufologists for abductees for the last few years, and I was entered for Business Women of the Year award here in the UK. I think it's 2 years ago now. I didn't win, but I was entered for it. But it's good to see everybody here, and Most Censored. Hey guys, it's good for you. So if any of you guys are I'll be aware, because if us in the UK have taken so much and give so much up, we're now being food rationed that's on fresh fruit and vegetables. A lot of stuff you can't buy. And just a normal bag of tea bags is like, if you want a next size up bag in tea bags, like the carry bags you get, is about £15.99 in English pounds, £16, 14 to £16, and toilet roll for 32 is about the same. So, and everything's set to go up by 3 or 7% on the 1st of April again. So guys, if we're in the front line, we're getting hit first, I suggest you start prepping, be more preppers. Sweden was ordered all their citizens last year to become preppers, and issued warnings about if Russia was to take over Sweden, and they're teaching that in schools and how to look after yourself. So there's lots of people. Lots of people on here. It's good to see old friends in faces again. So any questions about Giorgio? I met him quite a few times. Very nice gentleman. I've got one of me and Linda Moulton Howe, just to show you again, guys. So she interviewed me, and I was in the paper with that one. So there you go. That's me and Linda. But yeah.
Well, you know much more than she does, that's for sure.
So any questions? Tell me.
All right, everybody. I want to start with everybody out there in the real world that has any kind of money, not the real poor people, have a cell phone, and they all have a camera. Now, I'm telling everybody, any pictures you take that are of UFOs or really strange phenomena, send them to me or put them up on Facebook right away. Right now, all the things that everybody's filming has to be put up online. We got to overload them with so much stuff that they can't say it's not real. All right, people, anything I put up, anything Tina puts up is real, not superimposed, created, or played with. I spent the past 25 years putting real pictures of UFOs, ships, and everything up on my site, on everything. I used to work with Sergeant 18. We shot more UFOs than anybody else in the United States, of ships, not Tic Tacs. And all we hear still is Tic Tacs. You got Lou Elizondo going on, well, Tic Tacs can move and this. Well, no, we have ships. We had aliens. We had a lot of things. Why aren't they talking about the most important part of all of that? The ships they recovered. There's some incredible videos up. I don't know how real they are. I can't prove they're real. But they have a ship going down right between two U.S. Carriers. There's some really cool stuff out there. Just look at them. I'm not going to say everything's real, but even getting back to the point, if 1% of all the things you see is real, it's real. If 0% was real, it would be a different story. But we have 90%, I'd say maybe 80% are real. We still got the clowns out there trying to make stupid videos of ships and aliens and everything else. They get a kick out of it. But it's time for the truth to come out. And people, I have a book. It's a PDF file. Anybody that doesn't know how to see a UFO or wants to, please, I'll send it to you. Just send me a link. It gets into the simple techniques of how you're going to see a UFO if you really want to see one. It's not complicated, but there are certain things you should know and things you need to do if you plan on doing it. Text me, Hawksblood1, AOL.com. I'll put it up later. But people, it's time. This year has to expose everything. Sure, not every secret thing the government did with aliens, because that's not going to come out ever. But
I have a question, Tommy, because just here in the UK, because we've had such a blanketed news cover recently, the last I heard that they'd identified one object they shot down, which is a balloon. So you think a multi-million-dollar trained pilot would know what it was. But the three unknown objects, one was supposed to be a tetrahedron, another one was supposed to be a cylindrical object. It's been a few weeks now, and where's the pictures, and where's the information, and where's the info from it all? Where's the pictures and the films, and what can you tell me what's going on there?
Just a week ago in Hawaii, they put a video of a UFO over Hawaii. They put it up. It was a cylinder ship going across the sky. 500 people called the police department within an hour. All right. It still might be online, but they said they shot 2 balloons down, and they're still going to try to say everything else is a balloon. But listen to this, people. Japan is creating an orb for people to go up and look from the sky. All right. It's a new game, a new toy, whatever you want to call it. But it's they just showed pictures of it and how it's going to work. It's a little ball that people go inside, and it goes up into space. We need more things like that happening, right? People be shooting them down.
I do have John. So you said actually, John's just touched on something there. Said no nuke pills here yet. So I think you're in the United States, John, if I'm right. Here in the UK, tried to buy some tablets last year and the year before, and a statement, I believe, given out at the time was the United States government had purchased over 60 or 87% of the world's radiation tablets and pills available on the market. Now, that wasn't for the military grade. For the military, they'd have their own. It was for the public. And when we tried to buy potassium iodine here in the UK, it came in like 16 tablets, and it took a long time to get here and a long time to buy them. It kept saying they were out of stock. And that was just from a health food channel. I managed to get like 16. But there was a leaflet published in the UK given out to residents about 3 years ago, just before all this kicked off, saying that if anything was to happen, radiation tablets would be dispersed to the public. I'm not sure by what means, or if you're told to stay indoors, it will be brought to you. But it seems that a lot of things are going on. The government, aren't telling us. We're being taxed for the war in Russia, which has nothing really to do with us, but we're paying for that. And yes, there's a Tina. Are you still being abducted, or have they left you alone? I don't think they're taking me no more. But I've had some recurring, I won't say nightmares, but memories of dreams. It's like before they said the others are coming. They're not supposed to be, but they are. That's like rumbles around with you in a bit, in just a few weird dreams kind of things. But I've got to apologise. People can see my face. It does look terrible. I've got bruising here and down here and swelling on my face, as you can see. And I had a heart issue, and I had to have my the top of my jaw broke here at the top, and they had to fix it with a clip and some stitches. But they had to pierce my sinus cavity, so I had a lot of pressure in my head, and it's caused loads of bruising and marks from where I've had to have all this surgery done. It's gone down. I'm still a bit puffy, so if I look terrible, I can't do anything about it. I have tried to hide it. It's from the surgery I recently had. So I do apologise for that. But again, they've blanketed off. Since they've shot down these unidentified flying objects in America, there's been a total silence, resounding silence from around the world, and especially here in the UK, on any movement on anything. So if any of you guys know anything in Hawaii, wherever you are in the US or any other country, please let us know. Tommy.
All right. They shot 4 things down in the past week. All right. And they're not going to admit anything was anything different other than balloons. So that's why I'm saying, people, a friend next door of mine shot an incredible video. He won't let me put it up. He won't even give it to me. I said, look, I'll say I shot it. He won't even do that. He's just so afraid the government will come after him. But he shot 12 ships coming out of the ground and going up into space. And it was at night. He shot it with a camera. He had a laser on it as well. There's lots of things going on, people, and it's still being blocked. But search it out. Watch these videos going up on a daily basis. They're incredible. How the more incredible it is, the more afraid I am that it's not real. Because, but then again, right now, this year, I just bought a new phone, the Samsung 23 Ultra. It's got the best camera out of any cell phone out there. I only got it 2 days ago. But the one I had, the 21X, had an incredible camera. Clarity of whatever you shoot is really clear. So if you do see UFO, you see something weird, it will film it in clear. I mean, everybody else films these things and they're so blurry, and every time it's a Bigfoot, every time whatever it is, it's so blurred out. I don't know what kind of cameras they use. Must have been 2-cent cameras. But people, it's time to film things. Go out at night. Spend an hour or two. Just watch the sky. Go in a place where it's not lit up by lights. It's hard to film if the moon's out as well. You see a lot more when the moon's not bright. Quarter or less is fine, but when it's a little close to full, it's really hard to see things anywhere in the range that you're looking up at the sky. So be careful not to spend your time during that time frame, because you'll see a lot more when the sun's not out, reflecting off of the moon and causing such a bright light. People, it's time. There's so many things happen. I just saw another ship just yesterday, 2 days ago in the morning. I went out. The sky, it's been raining every day, every night. It seems like we're going to rain season, which is like 2 months already. All right. So I have 4 cameras now. I got 4 stands. I got everything ready to do all this filming. And guess what? I can't get a clear sky. I decided I'm going to go out with a big umbrella and film in the rain. Maybe I'll get something. I never tried it before. But like this other night, or the early morning, I went out. It was raining, cloudy. I went out to take a garbage bag out because we get up super early, like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was making coffee. So I went out to the garbage. I look up. There was a little space in the sky. And what do you think I see? This light ship shoot right across there, in and out of the clouds. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. And it definitely wasn't a satellite. People, they're up there all the time. And they're in so many numbers. Tina can go out any night and see a UFO over her house. I can go out any night and see a UFO over my house. So obviously, so can you. So it's time for you, if you never saw a UFO, to see one. At least open up your mind to the truth. Go ahead, Tina.
So yeah, no, what it is a question that's been ringing on my mind, and I'm going to ask the guys in the chat room just if you guys want to comment on it. So the big issue, I think me and Tommy actually hit it on the head neck last week, was if a UFO did land, because contact is happening, guys. Any way you want to look at it, when a UFO lands or they abduct you and they speak to you and take you, that is contact. Any 2 ways you want to look at that. Now, if they was to choose what human beings would like to see, is them land on the White House lawn or on Downing Street, and the little men come off the ship, and they're not little men, little beings come off the ship and speak English to our leaders. How would you know that they were telling the truth? I know a lot of believers that believe that there are only good aliens, believe that they would be speaking the truth and would be love and light. But how would you know that? How would you know? You're putting I'll put my trust in our leader to decide whether that being who's been abducting people from our planet, torturing and taking bits out of them, how would you know that they were telling the truth? Any of you guys got an answer to that? Because I'd seriously question that. I think there's a lot of questions need to be addressed now. I think at the forefront.
What? Let me reply to that, Tina.
Yep.
I asked anybody, you can come on if you want. Anybody, TJ, Sash, you can come on. Uh, Maybe just want to listen. That's your choice. But for me personally, all right, when I see something, I I filmed so many ships over the past year, and I'm trying to link them and make a video of them and put them all together. Uh, I've been asking around the neighborhood. Everybody I know is seeing UFOs, seeing things. I'm talking about a mothership that came over Hawaii about 6 months ago. That a couple of girls saw it one night, and another guy on down the block from there saw it as well. So obviously, it wasn't somebody on drugs or doing drinking or anything like that. I mean, the old days, anything you ever saw, oh, he must have been drinking, or he's on drugs. People, look, there's a lot of people that don't do drugs. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, but I see things all the time. So, am I hallucinating on what? On life? Yeah, really living here. People, for me, I have been in this all my life. It's not a new thing. I don't lie and I don't tell stories. I'm not repeating everybody else's ridiculous stories either. I try not to bring anybody on this show that's not telling the truth or doesn't have something important to say. I mean, friends that want to talk to us and ask us questions, that's fine. But when people come out, well, I don't think that's this. I don't care what you think. This isn't about thinking. This ain't a thinking show. This is about truth only.
Just to answer a
So,
few questions. So, yeah, John, you're right. People blame Russia for the modern day UFOs only recently because of the war. They've also blamed China. Fair enough, weather balloons. I mean, if you're going to pay $1 billion or more $1 million a pilot that can't tell the difference between swamp gas, an air balloon, 4 double-decker buses, or a UFO, and they're spending their money on nothing. But yes, they're blaming Russia for the modern UFOs. But what about the UFOs Russia agreed to see, that the UK seen, and the Americans before the war? So they can't account for that, and the thousands of UFOs and millions of UFOs seen before Russia was, or England was a state. This has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. So it's not new. They can't just blame Russia for everything for the war.
well,
And UFOs and China, because they're not. If they're balloons, they're weather balloons. If they're UFO, China can't catch them. Russians actually admitted shooting 4 or 5 of them down. They haven't got a death toll on account, but they're taking toll. They're taking account, which is more than what other people are discussing.
you know, I don't believe the stories anyway. I mean, somebody said they shot a kid's balloon down. That's not proven, period. All right. The money that they spend for these rockets to shoot them down, don't believe what they say they spend for them either. Wait, now, all these things that are supposedly happening, all right, are they real? The government doesn't tell anything that's important to the world, period. Secret defense is secret, it's not public knowledge. All right. When they shoot a missile up, they're blowing bombs up in Hawaii. Do you hear about that? No. My partner went across the island, going across the mountain where the telescopes are. The army base is there. All right. She filmed something. She says, I don't believe it, but here, watch it. And she gave me a film from her camera. And basically, she shot 3 triangle ships over the army base. I never put them up. I think I stuck it up one of my shows just for the preview in the beginning of the show, but I never put them up publicly, never promoted them. I don't try to promote everything because right now people still don't want to believe aliens are here and they're not doing friendly things with us. If they're working with the government, they're not our friends. The government doesn't help poor people. It doesn't help the middle class people. We're talking about what race would come here to work with the rich people. They wouldn't have a good agenda. Their agenda, if they're helping the government, is not helping middle class or poor people. Now, here's a number, people. You need to realize this, whether you're following a spiritual person, a religious person, whatever. There's 88 billion people on the planet. There's only 330 million people in the United States. So if you're a religious group, spiritual group, and you got even 2 million followers, what percentage of the world do you think you're changing? When they say we're changing the vibration of the planet, we're raising the level of consciousness. Of who? The morons that think they're spiritual because they say they are? Are we doing anything spiritual? No. Have aliens ever helped us do anything good? Anything good? Do you hear that word? The only thing that they did that the UFO world harps on is they actually shut down, what, 4 nuclear bases for about an hour.
Yeah, but Tommy, at the end of the day, do we know that was for good? For all we know, that could have caused illegal. They could have even stolen parts of radiation to fuel their ships. We don't know what they did. We don't understand enough about what they did. I'm pro-human being species. They don't understand. I mean, they're entering our atmosphere. Okay, so if an object comes from outer space, either the airline pilots get cancer, stewardesses get cancer. They're all tested because they're flying at high altitudes. Now, if this thing's coming through the Van Allen radiation belt, entering our atmosphere, surely it's bringing radiation and polluting our atmosphere, which is not good for us. It could have bacteria on it. That's not good for us. It's not helping our environment. It's certainly not helping human beings. And whoever said, Sash, I think, said, or someone said about souls. If they're taking sperm and eggs, which they are, then human beings, either at the time of conception or the time of birth, that soul enters the human body. If they're stealing our eggs and mixing it with their sperm, are they stealing our souls? Is that what they're doing? Are they stopping the human race from populating? Are they taking their souls? Because if they can make 2,000 eggs from me, is that 2,000 souls from the planet? Is there total? We don't understand enough about what they're doing. They're stripping our planet and our human beings of our own humanity, and people just can't see that. These aliens may be friendly, but I don't think I've met one. I can't say I've had a horrific or totally friendly experience, but I've had a terrifying experience. And the government's not protecting us, and they're not doing nothing to protect our environment. That should be our first questions before they're even entertaining contact, which has already happened. Tommy,
Sorry, I had to put a little bit of light on. I can't
no,
see
that's
my
okay.
keyboard.
I'm ranting on again.
All right, people. For me, this time frame is critical. We're in the worst conditions we have ever been in. All right. While all the New Age and all these other people are saying we're at the highest level of spirituality and awareness and all that, if you ask the average person, are aliens real? They say, "Well, I think they are. I think they're out there." They won't even admit that they're here. So when we say we're becoming aware of what are people aware of?
Sorry,
Being
Tommy.
stupid.
Marina's in the chat room. If you go up, scroll up to the top there, Tommy has an email address, hawksblood1@aol.com. If you go on there, Tommy has written a pamphlet or a little booklet. It's free. You can download it. If you email Tommy, he'll send you the link to it. And it tells you how to see what to see in the sky and how to see a UFO. Not everything in the sky is a UFO, guys. The UFO is if you look up, you'll see something. Just look up. That's all you've got to do. Study the sky for an hour. You can see the difference between planes, stars. You can see multitude of things, but most of all, satellites don't enter our atmosphere, so they're not satellites. These things are glowing orbs. They don't have wings. They're not planes. They don't make noises, and they just move through the sky, kind of like a bumblebee action. But then they can just shoot off. If you can get a picture of it or anything, just start taking pictures. Have a look, and if you can't identify it, have a look. But I'll hand it over to Tommy now. Tommy's written all about how to see that. Tommy,
Marina, I just want to tell you this. When I say see a UFO, I'm not talking about being friends with them. I will tell you this straight out. Aliens aren't our friends. You want to talk to aliens? Go to Stephen Greer. He's building a whole center to teach people how to talk to aliens. They have nothing to give us. They have nothing important to say to us. All right. They gave us the most deadliest weapons on the planet in 1940, around 49, 50, somewhere around there. But they're the most dangerous weapons, and we're playing with them now. Aliens don't have anything good to offer us. I mean, and I hate to use a spiritual word. I mean, Tina has a thing because what's happening to her. I don't blame her. I mean, some people have, oh, I met God, I met Jesus, they did this, that. The truth is, what happens here happens here, good and bad. It's not like you're protected, not that somebody's protecting you. I just fell yesterday. I had the worst trip falling on stone ever. I hurt my hip, my arm, my shoulder, my knee. but I was chasing a rooster out of my yard. So the rooster got away. I said, it brought up in my mind when I was little, there was a song, Kill the Old Red Rooster. I thought it was such a bad song, but now I said, I'll kill that rooster if I get too close to him. But
Well,
people,
I think the government should take the same approach to shooting down UFOs, even if they don't want to disclose it. I mean, tonight just shows we've had quite a few comments before as well, saying that it is happening all over the world. We got more viewers and more people commenting tonight from different parts of the world. Guys, just shout out from around the world where your message is from, so we can take a look at numbers online to see how many UFOs are reported in your area. More, it's not about belief is a fact of faith, act of faith.
Before you leave, people, please send this link to everybody you know, whether they're into it or not. Maybe they will get into it. Maybe they'll listen. It's time people wake up to the truth. I have my nephew's coming to Hawaii in 2 months. About 19 years ago, I was working with John Edmonds. All right. He's the one that claimed he killed 18 grays. I went out to his ranch. I brought Carrie Cassidy out there. She filmed the ship right over the house. I brought 2 people with me. I can't say their names or anything, but we shot aliens right there. All right. He was killed last Christmas. All right. The ranch is kind of different now because his wife there, and she said the aliens aren't coming there, but she's about a half a mile from an alien army base. When I brought Kerry Cassidy out there, these other people that I dealt with, I was out there for a week, and there was so much stuff going on. I thought it was a real alien base. I mean, I thought it was a real government base. When he said, "Oh no, that's an alien base," and when I went there, there's nothing there except the mountain. So I didn't know he really meant an alien army base for real, because all these ships are just coming and going like it's New York City. People, the truth's out there. Do you want it or not? Do you want to know why aliens are really here? And I'll tell you, the first thing is nothing good. All right. They wanted to help us. We would get help. Tesla's inventions are destroying the planet. He created an earthquake machine. He created a doomsday weapon. He created the most dangerous thing ever created on this planet, which is called time travel. And the government's using it. All right. So from there on, people, what do you think could happen? We could destroy half of the planet and they could go back in time, rearrange it so we don't destroy it. But then again, they can do whatever they want. Because if you know something's going to happen, you go back. But everybody can start doing that. And then there's no real history happening because everything will keep changing. And we'll never move forward because we don't agree on anything. How many countries exist on this planet? How many of them agree?
That's a good thing, Tommy. I'm not poking fun at other people now because I don't do that. There are 2 sides to every coin, but like Tommy just said, that touches on every base. Where are these good UFOs now? And these people believe that the gods are going to come down and save us and stop the war. Where are these people stopping all these innocent people between the war in Ukraine from dying? Where are they stopping them from using nuclear weapons, which is the next step? Tactically, that is the next step to happen. Russia feels threatened from all sides. We shouldn't be intervening. I don't think we should be sending them stuff over there, or America. If they can't fight whatever it is, they're dragging the whole world into it. Put more pressure on it. At the end of the day, if a nuclear weapon goes off, more people are going to die. More of our planet's going to be dying and irradiated. Where are they stopping it now? Why aren't they stopping it now when it counts? When they can do something, they're not. If they're that malevolent, or they're that nice, or that Greenpeace, or I feel very passionate about it. That's why I feel very angry about it. They should be doing something now. Not. So I'm just going to leave it there. Tommy.
People, thanks. Greetings, people coming in. I'm so glad you're listening. I want to say this. We have the ability to change things. People say, well, we can't. But here's the thing, people. What we're doing on this show, between Tina and I, we have more facts and proof and experiences than almost all the UFO people together. She had it going on all her life. I had it going on all my life. All right. I have witnesses during different things that happened to me. She's been around her boyfriends and different things. Her boyfriend got abducted with her. So this is all real, people. We don't tell stories of somebody else's story. Roswell is not an important story. What happened in Montauk, New York, New Jersey, is the most important UFO story. And there's
Sorry,
nobody out there.
sorry,
Wait, wait.
Richie. I think sorry, Richie. I think you're right. Obviously, not me, man. We were warned off. I spoke to an astronaut. I got a picture here of one of them, and he said that they were, apart from Buzz Aldrin, they were watching Buzz Aldrin on the corner of the moon. That they've been warned off from going back there. I know we're going to put to the moon, but we're going to put a platform up there to like
Oh no,
leapfrog
the
it.
U.S. is
Yeah,
is is ready to go. They're working on it right now. We're going back to the moon.
yeah,
There's a base on the moon, not ours, but
yeah.
there's a base on the other side of the moon. I actually saw a video of it. I'm not going to get into that, but people, what I was trying to say, we are in a stage of change. Everything's changing. Everything's getting worse. But see, people, you have to realize what's going on. Why the government's doing what they're doing. Why governments are doing what they're doing. The UN Agenda 21-30 is in full swing. In 2030, we're going to be under one world order. Basically, 193 countries agreed on it, saying we need one world order. And it's in full swing. We're at phase 4 right now, which is actually population depletion. AI will be the next big thing taking over the United States and the world. And now, before we get too far, AI, artificial intelligence, it should be RI, real intelligence. Aliens created artificial intelligence. And they're proving it right now. The United States has been proving things already that artificial intelligence is real. It actually thinks whatever it is, wherever it comes from, however it's created, is a real thing. It's not just like a battery and voltage going through a wire. It's an energy field that thinks. And I'll just tell you one simple thing they did. They had 5 of the top computers on the planet design the future of the United States and the world. Guess what? Every picture came up almost exactly the same. Different computers from different parts of the world all show you what the future of the world's going to be. How would they know that? Or how could they even design that? I'm not going to go into the details, but it's going to be exposed within the next year or two, hopefully in detail. But
That's another question I've got for you, Tommy, then. So if the aliens landed and AI was in charge, basically, because that's what's happening now, would the aliens listen to the AI over human lives?
no, it's their technology to use us. In other words, rather than an alien coming down, you're going to listen to your computer before you listen to an alien standing outside your door. So it's a way to interfere and get into people's minds without them realizing they're being affected by something outside that's not good. All right. And my sound on that. Oh, greetings, Westworld. Right. We're in a world like that. Serious people. I have seen so many ships. Tina has. Tina's been on ships. I've been next to an alien. I've been next to a ship. I've been next to a Bigfoot. All right. I filmed ships about maybe a foot away from me. People, it's real. And it's a lot worse than Westworld because it's real. It's not a story. It's not a movie.
To
It's
answer
what's happening.
everyone in our chat room, I'm going to ask you all the same question. Answer away because me and Tommy will answer you back. So the title is "The Day Is Coming." The aliens, like the alien truth, will all be answered. We're just an experiment yet. So where would you all stand now if you saw a ship in the sky and it got closer and closer to your house? I would run like hell. Apart from trying to get a picture of it, snap a picture or a video, they always say is the best thing. But if those things got too close to me, I will tell you now, I would run like hell and hide if I could. But they come through your walls, they come through the concrete, they come through your ceiling, they come through your floors. And recently, someone else said, "Did they abduct me no more?" But no, but I've had dreams of UFOs coming and putting numbers in the skies. It's weird. I don't know how to
All
explain
right,
it.
people.
Yeah,
Tina is
there you go.
so right about that. But here's the problem.
Mm.
Many people that aren't really in the UFO world would love to be abducted. Oh, I'd love to be on a ship. I'd love
Now
to
they're
go.
nutters.
They have no clue what they're saying or even asking. There are no good aliens. I don't care what all these UFO people say. Well, I work with good ones. I mean, I could give all the famous people that say they've been on, the aliens showed them the future, the past, and all that. But we don't know the past or the future. I mean,
Why would
wait,
anybody?
go ahead, Tina.
Why would anybody want to be abducted? These people that say they want to be abducted, they must be mentally insane. Why would you want to be? I mean, they should be seriously have. Never mind people that say that they've seen UFOs and be abducted. Anyone that says they want to be abducted needs psychiatric serious help. Why would you want to put yourself in a situation where you're on a ship that is not from our atmosphere, so it has a different atmosphere, and that's affecting your body? It has radiation on it probably, because if it's entering in and out of our atmosphere and using quantum whatever, it's affecting your body. I'm just so angry about that. And you want to be tortured by an alien race?
I got to answer that real fast. I was at a UFO convention. I wasn't speaking, but I was meeting with big people and everything else. But one of the speakers, okay, during her talk said she volunteered to be abducted in her past life. Why in the world would somebody want to do that? Why would they want to come back to this planet if they were that aware? You know, people prove how ignorant they are by what they say and what they do. All right. I don't do much anymore. All I'm doing is writing letters to everybody, even the Animal Society, the Environment Society, all these people. Oh, let's stop this. The whales have been killed more than ever in history right now. The dolphins have been killed more than in history. Here in Hawaii, all the plankton died 2 years ago. I mean, in Puerto Rico, the plankton died. I mean, all these things that are happening. And we're here to save the world, and they're going to help us. No, they're not. If they wanted to help us, they would.
Yeah,
if they were aware beings, they wouldn't let us go to war. Sadly, they love war. They love people. And somebody asked the question, we are food for them, people, whether you want to know that or not.
So I'm just going to answer a question in the chat room. So is it Darayavi? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I do apologise, but I'll just call you Dow. Dow, I spoke to Richard Doherty, who's a former CIA operative, and he worked with orbs and things like that. And I've met him in person a few times. I come over from America, and you look on, you see pictures of people I've met over the years. But I like speaking to him. I sent him some emails, and he did a brilliant lecture about when the CIA looked into these orbs and things like that. And it was said to have been, if you see a star which comes closer to you, or you've seen an orb, or an orb that floats through your wall, or this little thing. They actually filmed this thing that came into someone's house through a wall, or tiny orb. They think it's a precursor to abduction. They now think that orbs, or orbs that are close to you or coming close to you, are precursor to abductions. They look like spy planes, but microscopic little balls that are either essential energy, but they think, the CIA actually think, that they're a precursor to abduction. So if you think you've had funny dreams, write your experiences down, write the date, the time, any information you can gather, how you feel. If you can even get a medical, even better, because I'll track your radiation levels to see that. But on that note, a few years ago, because me and Tommy's been doing the show a few years now, I became ill, had little marks and burns and things like that. And I had symptoms of radiation burns. And but Tommy, I thought he was joking. Tommy said to me, Tina, go and get a Geiger counter and test your body. Sadly, my dog passed away, and his blood results showed in his blood and bone test that he had massive amounts of radiation in him. Absolutely devastated, killed me, that did. But so I got this. Tommy was right. So this was this is my second one. So I'll get for about one a year, or one every year and a half. So Tommy has one in Hawaii, and I have one here in Southampton, UK. This is it. I got it on Amazon, and it says it's an electrical. I've got my glasses on. Electrical magnetic radiation tester. So it tests. There it is. There costs about $18.99, less than about $20 on Amazon. There it is. There. So you turn it on here. Now I have a smart screen, a computer, which doesn't give off electrical magnetic radiation or signals. Tommy doesn't, so his flashes. So that's why Tommy's is flashing at the moment, because he doesn't have a smart screen computer. Now, so it's not picking up background radiation or electrical magnetic radiation. So the top there is the top there is volts per meter, and that is micro Teslas. Now, when you see mine flash at the moment, it's fine. It says safe. When the red light flashes and you get anything down here, which you're not supposed to get, by the way, it says harmful. That is harmful to your health, and that is permanent. So I'm now going to hold this little thing to my head because it frightens me to death every week. And the bottom numbers are just starting to go up now. Nothing's actually beeping. Normally it beeps like mad, so that's a good thing for me. But you can see the numbers at the bottom. Oh, no, hold on. Let's go this side.
I'm at 250 on the top on mine, so mine's really a dangerous level right now. But yeah, I got to break down and buy a new computer screen.
That's in my neck.
Not that I want to, because I just spent so much money for the screen that I have. People, you should get one. They're not that expensive. And like Tina shows you, that she's exposed to radiation.
Yes, yeah. I'm giving off. Once you touch these things or you agitate them, I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on. But there you go. I don't get it on any other. I have had it on parts of my body, as does my partner. But there you go. So there, if anyone can explain that, let me know. I'm going to just push that and turn it off. There you go. Ask the light and then turn it off, hopefully. Keep my finger on it. There you go. To get yourself one, guys, test yourself and anybody around you.
Well, people, let me just clear this up. Tina is going through every effect of radiation poisoning right now. Seriously. All the symptoms. Watch the movie Silkwood, and you'll see what they are. But Tina has them all.
I lost teeth, toenails, fingernails, hair.
She falls down and she turns black and blue half of her body.
Oh,
she passes out. I mean, she's got everything you could possibly not want. When I fell down, I thought of you right away, Tina. I hit my elbow, my knee.
Trying to get me abducted again, sending me in a garden. I actually listened to him, and I'm not just that frightened me to death. I don't ever want that to happen again.
Well,
why did they never explain the video they discussed 1 years ago about the white capsule? So the CIA actually did, and so a lot of people about the capsules and things like that. So in the UK, so private funded departments you can't get a information public disclosure for them. They don't have to do it for private companies. Military installations and things like that, Information Act, I think you can. But a government-funded top secret one, you can't get any information because for that reason it's top secret. And they signed a non-disclosure act agreement. So when they leave, if they signed it during service, they're not allowed to tell anybody about it. Like Luis Elizondo and again other people like that. So they can't tell you about it, and the government can't disclose it because it is top secret. Now, if Richard Doherty, that was his field, he can talk about it. He's been allowed to talk about it. Since the government, what people don't seem to realise, even though they signed disclosure acts, since the government has now said that the American government come out, yes, UFOs are real. Non-human life is real. And UFOs not of this world, which means they're made by something else outside of our world, are real, which changes the terms of a lot of people's secrecy. That's it, NDA. So lots of people like Richard Doherty can now come forward and tell people about it and about their field of work. Obviously, the things about it that they can't. And if you do look on YouTube, or if you want to know, contact me and I can get Richard to send you a link. But look, there's plenty of good stuff out there. You just need to dig through a lot of it. It is out there. But again, I recommend everyone does their own research about that.
All right. Tina, how's your book doing?
Yeah, well, they've had it in again. They sent it back and it's been redone again. Amazon don't know what the problem is. It's been rewritten about 16 times now. So I've had to take the pictures out. I've had to change the wording. I've had to take.
Tina, put it out yourself.
This is me putting it out myself. I can't do it. Amazon, the lowest platform I can put it out on is Amazon, and they're having so much. They've published my other books. It's just this.
Right.
They're having even Amazon technicians. My niece was on the phone to them for about 2 days.
Well, they have to be paid off.
But I'm hoping we've adhered to their parameters, and we're getting there. We're getting there. What else have we got on there? Yes, we're going to talk about Turkey in a minute. Heart system, the reason, yeah, don't touch the show. Right. So just before I go,
All right. I just want to
yeah,
throw this out there real fast, Tina, for everybody. All right. There's a couple of reasons why not just the government wants to keep things top secret. Now, religion controls the planet. All right. 2.5 billion people are Christians, 2.2 billion are Muslims. So that's the biggest percentage of a population. Then you got Hindu, Buddhism, and all the other religions. The world is based on the idea of an idea that man was created and all these stories that go with each religion. They can't admit that we're not of Earth. We are aliens, people. We weren't naturally brought here by a meteorite crashing in the ground, cells multiplying into a
sperm, yeah.
caterpillar and into a human eventually. All right, that's not how we got here, people. We are not cavemen. We never were. All right. Now, and things don't. And I meant one of the most top scientists that's all over the news. What's his name? Miyatsu or whatever. He said it.
Michio Kaku.
Yeah, he said a cell can't multiply and become better every time it multiplies.
It's a carbon
Meaning,
copy,
if
isn't
we
it?
mutated 10 billion times, we'd have people with 10 heads, 20 arms, 10 eyes, no heads, whatever. We wouldn't mutate to the perfect species that we are. Our
I just
immune
want the
system,
human race to be better.
our immune system's perfect until mankind destroyed it.
Mm.
We are perfect in a lot of ways, but we destroyed that ourselves, not God, not anybody else, not aliens. We did it. And why? It's all based on the corruption of money and power.
So
Not
before
about
Tommy
God.
goes any further and talks about Turkey, UK's had some earthquakes recently, but just before I go, because I've got to go in a minute, guys, a couple of things going on. Hopefully, in April 22nd, 23rd this year at Jubilee Hall, Bishop's Waltham, Southampton in England, you can go on to Encounters 2023 on Facebook. There's a group. You can go on, buy a ticket there. You can go on TA Bird on Facebook. You can see my author's page on there, or you can go on Wix site. There's plenty of links on there. Click it down and it will just take you to my website if you want to buy a ticket, £30 each. That's a Saturday and Sunday, 22nd, 23rd of April in Southampton here in the UK. Also, on the 30th, I think, of May, 29th to 30th of May, I'll double check the dates of you. I'm speaking at Devises in Wiltshire at the Corn Exchange, I believe. I'll be sharing a stage with ancient alien Gary Heseltine. And I'll be giving a lecture and things like that then, so you can see me then. Later on in the year, late August, I'll be going further up the country. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe as much as you like. Please leave your comments below and the countries you're from, because we like to look at the statistics. If you've got questions to ask, please ask. If you have questions or answers from a previous show, please let us know. Me and Tommy would love to hear from that. Or if you want us to look at something, we'll put you in contact with someone. If we can, we will. But from me here in Southampton, E.T. Girl, I've been Tina Bird here in the UK. I'm going to hand you back over to Tom now, but I'd like to thank all of our guys tonight in the chat room from all over the world, from India to the UK to the States to everywhere else as well. So thank you for everyone for coming on.
Tina, before you go, are you going back to work? Are you working now?
Yeah, I've gone back part-time to work up to full-time again. It is taking its toll on me, but I'm trying to get there. I want to pull myself out of the doom and gloom, but I just got to wait for a bit more for the swelling and everything to go down. It is a little bit painful still, but with that and going back to work, it's made me really tired, but I'm glad the worst is behind me.
Stay safe, please.
And you guys, thank you. Be safe, everyone. It's good to see you all again, and I feel quite touched to see you guys here each week. See you next week.
Wait, Tina, before you go, I'm not letting you go. If
Okay.
you got any spare time,
yes,
text me. We'll do another show. All right.
Yes.
I want to start doing more shows. I want
to start doing more shows, but I'm fully booked this week.
Well, whenever, Tina. I'm just saying, because I'm going to be doing at least 2 shows a week now, at least, if I can. There's so much stuff that I want to bring out. And an hour or two is not enough.
For those who don't know, for a studio in California, I've just been doing some Skype interviews for them. So that's taken a bit of time as well.
Oh, Tina, another question. The conference you're doing, are you going to be able to put it online?
Hopefully, fingers crossed. But they're bringing all types of draconian measures here in the UK. So we have where I live in Hampshire, we've had water shortages, we've had blackouts. The water has been unable to treat, so they've had gone back to bottled water. And as of today, from 3 or 4 hours ago, we're now on food rationing here in the UK. Believe it or not, fresh fruits and vegetables, and we've been hit by price increases and shop closures. So, be safe, everyone, from here till next week. Guys, just keep looking up in the sky. Tell me what you see. Like, subscribe, and share. Please tell everyone to come on. And I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tina.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Tina's so great. She's going through so many problems, people. I think every other week she's in the hospital. And they're really not sure what's wrong with her at any level. They won't admit she's radioactive. They won't admit, all right, in her book, which she can't get out, we had her talk already. She was taken to the hospital, and they had to cut this big object out of her. In England, they film every operation. So they filmed it. So after it was over, the nurse said, "We cut something out of there." And she goes, "What?" "Well, I can't say. It was just dark." So she went to court trying to get the video of her operation. In court, the final decision was they can't release the video because it's too controversial. Too controversial to release what was cut out of her stomach. Does that make any sense, people? People in the UFO world should be fighting for things like that, helping to get that video from the government. Also, John Ford is in Long Island in the nut house. He filmed the best video ever taken of a ship that crashed on Long Island. I saw it. I was not good friends with him. I mean, I wanted to go see him in jail. And FEMA, who a friend of mine was friends with, when I went in their house, they said, "You go near him, they'll kill my family and everybody else around me." And that was a long time ago. That was like 23 years ago. People, he's still in a nut house. They won't let him out. He sent the video 4 parts of the world. They only get shown if he dies. And the government's not letting him out of the nut house, but they're also not going to kill him. All right? Because if he died, the video would come out. And I was there. I was out where the ship crashed and everything else. These things are real, people. I don't tell stories like most of these UFO. "Oh, the good aliens told me this. Oh, they showed me this." They can show you anything you want. If you see visions that they're projecting on you, like Corey Good and stuff, and, "Well, they show me this and that." If I could show you a video, I could show you anything I want to show you, real or not. Holograms are incredible now. I went to school with Tesla, son, one of them, who invented laser photography. All right. I was, I think 13. All right. But that was then. I even did a project with a hologram piece of film that 2 different images on each side of it. And you could cut it in 100 pieces. Each piece still has the same picture on it. That was a technology when I was a little child. So the technology now with laser, and they're going to be pulling games. They did it in a war. I'm not going to say when and where. They projected a hologram in the sky, and it stopped the war for a while. Because you know how religious people, "Oh, that's God, or that's Jesus, or that's some whatever." All right. But the other word is a fake alien invasion. We're not going to have a fake alien invasion, people. People call it what they want. If aliens come here, they're going to be real. If you see a light coming down the street and it looks like an alien, I wouldn't worry about it. If you see your buildings getting blown up, I would. Now, another friend of mine, who's no longer a friend, he never was really, the SETI Ranch, James Gillen. He said he filmed a 45-foot alien coming out of the mountain. I said, "Yeah, what happened?" "Well, it started walking towards us, and then what? It just disappeared." "Oh, wow, that sounds scary." How do you know it wasn't just a hologram? Which it was. All right. Now, I work with a person. His name's Bruce Cornett, a scientist. He's got multiple degrees. We were up at Pine Bush, New York, where lots of UFO sightings were going on daily until they closed the road off, because there were a whole street of people lined up every night, partying, drinking, smoking, do whatever they want, but watching the sky. And they all had their experiences with ships landing, aliens, and everything else. But he filmed this giant pyramid coming out of the ground. It wasn't there. It was over a cornfield. So holograms are real to people that see them or that can't go through them or touch them. So there's a lot of ways they can fake things, but it won't be an alien invasion. I mean, if they put a silhouette of an alien coming down your street, wow, it's coming. I mean, unless it does some major damage and you could touch it, you're not going to believe it, or you shouldn't. You see something in the sky, you go, oh, that's God talking to us. No, it's not. God doesn't come into this reality. We're in hell. Why would God want to step into this horrible place? It doesn't. It made deities, it made angels, it made spiritual guides for us. That it doesn't have to come down into this lower plane. All right, there's multiple worlds, and they're incredible when you go into them. Very few people get past the astral plane. All souls that leave this reality go to the astral plane, and then they move from there, either higher or lower. 99% reincarnate back to this reality. I'm not going to go into that whole teaching. All right, but most people are staying here. All right, now let me say this about drugs, people. I was forced to take it by a Tibetan master I was studying with called Komol. It's a Tibetan mountain drug. It helped. But if you get addicted and you believe it too much, you'll be pulled into a different reality and it won't be real. All right. I had a master with me going and guiding me. When you do something like that by yourself, you're not with a spiritual person, and there's not too many spiritual people on this whole planet that can guide you and help you and protect you and all those kind of words. You don't want to step into another dimension. It's like what they're doing with CERN, CERN. They created a black hole. They want to go through it and go into another dimension. They have no clue what they're doing. The same as when we created time travel, Tesla did, and we went back in time. All right, I can go into that more than probably any UFO speaker out there. I was there. I mean, two of my friends were in the black chair called the Montauk Project and all that. I can go into all the details about it. These people can't. I actually saw one of the creatures from it. It was the same time I saw a Bigfoot. So, and what was going on in New Jersey, people? The Philadelphia experiment created the worst thing that happened to this planet. All right, how many people talk about that? Did you hear anybody in the UFO world ever say it? What happened was, when the Philadelphia experiment happened, the ship disappeared, went back in time, came back, went back and forth. It blew a hole in the astral plane. All right, the lower part, the bottom part of it, and it allows all this junk, meaning entities, not deities, creatures and beings, all those kind of words, to enter our reality. All right. Yes, the Montauk Connection. You could read the books about it. They're all lies, half of it. Basically, Tesla worked with DuPont in New Jersey, in Wanakee, New Jersey, for 9 months. And this is a true story, people. 9 months. When they flooded a city, all right, in Wanakee, the Army was stationed around UFOs going in and out of that reservoir for 9 months. Couldn't do a thing. Even when the lake froze, the ships went in and out of the reservoir. Suddenly, at the end of 9 months, it just stopped completely and the Army left. All right? But that's the time they opened up a vortex. And it's in Wanakee. Sargel 18, the person I did all my UFO stuff with, we went up there for 6 years. Every other night and spent 3 hours filming. That's why we shot more pictures of UFOs and creatures and all kinds of weird stuff than anybody else in the United States at that time. I don't think anybody else has even come close, because you don't see really cool pictures anymore. I mean, Tic Tacs are nothing. Oh, this cool video is coming out, but people shot one video here, one video there. We shot him every other night. He changed his name. His name was Sargel 18. His new name is Lord Sargel. His last prophecy before he left the internet stripped everything we ever did down. 2034, he says, Jesus comes down and kills Lucifer. Not going to happen. Impossible. But that was his last prophecy before he went into hiding. I know he came into a lot of money, whether he was bought off, which I'm sure he was. He always said, if they give me enough money, I'll pull away from this whole thing. But he also said, over 1,000 times we were going to bring the aliens to the White House. He had a check in his pocket from a famous healer saying, if he bring we bring the alien to her, she'll give him a check for $45,000. All right. But that never happened. And he was claimed to be a psychic and everything else along the way. I have no clue if he's alive. He was really sick the year before we had a fight, which was 2 years ago. And he said he's going to give me all the copyrights to thousands of the UFOs that we shot, that he copyrighted everything we did. And he said he was dying. So all of a sudden, he moved into a nice house, got all these extra cars and everything else. And then we did a show. I mentioned somebody, Sean David Morton, who blows his mind away. He blames him for a lot of things. And then we got into a fight, and that was it. So, and then he disappeared. And then only recently he took everything down. I had a video. I have it. Not online. It was online since 1996 of a show we did called Strange Universe, where him and I were on it. They didn't show me much, but sorry about that. He showed an actual video of a ship coming by, stopping, shooting 3 ships out, and then taking off. And that was then. And it was on TV. The week after that, the show was taken off the air. Strange Universe. All right, and that's for real. And then guess what? That's when John Ford was put in jail. The big name, second important name in the probably one of the most important names in the UFO world, Phil Snyder, was also killed. It was 1996. They actually took out about 200 UFO people, speakers, people that were witnesses, and all those kind of things. It didn't end it. They thought maybe they could. Also, that year, they took out about, I think it was 100 top nuclear scientists, whatever the word is, within 1 year as well. It was a year, I guess, they thought they can change the whole idea of aliens and war and all that, but it didn't work. All right. I have no clue about Mr. Sargell, Mr. Lord Sargell now, but I can go into stories about how we met, what happened, and all this stuff, because he claimed he was so powerful and all those kind of words too. And I challenge just about everybody that's out there mainstream claiming to be super powerful. I'm dealing with one guy right now. He's still on my friend Facebook. He just says he has a vortex in his yard. You can see where the tree line ends and the vortex is there. He claims a lot of things. And he said he was going to destroy me. That's what he put up on the email. Online. I said, go right ahead. You think you can? Try. People. I was a high priest when I was 16 years old. I was dealing against the head of the mob's psychic high priest and all those kind of people. I was hardcore. I'm still hardcore, but I'm not doing anything out there. I don't use psychic abilities because they're not used right or wisely or can be on this planet. So when you hear these UFO speakers and Caroline Corey and people like that, oh, we're going to be psychic and use our psychic abilities to destroy the planet. Psychic abilities come from the astral plane. I mean, I don't know if you heard of the Akashic records and you could see the future and everything that happens and all that. But it's only the astral plane. And that's not much better than the physical reality. Like I said, souls go there, spend some time there, and then usually reincarnate because they have to. But I don't want to get into that too much detail right now because there's so much stuff going on. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about Turkey. Well, he supposedly got over the sickness and said he was better. The same as my friend Sean David Morton just texted me yesterday. He is 50% cured, considering he was dying. They let him out of jail because he was dying. They put him in jail with 150 fake charges. I mean, you listen to stupid Sargell talking about that. Oh, it's all real. No, he didn't steal millions of dollars. He didn't do all the things they put on him. The government frames people they don't like or don't want telling the truth if they don't kill him. And they did everything but kill him in jail. And now they had to let him go because he was dying. So, people, the government's not good. But I want to get into Turkey from my awareness over the past couple weeks. The earthquake chart, you should watch it. Pull it up. I pull it up every day for 10 years now. I tracked it from 1900 to the present day. Now, in the past year, the chart has never been like it is today. Ever. We have anywhere from 5 to 10 earthquakes over a 5.1 in one day. Turkey had a 7.8. They just had another one yesterday, and it killed more people. Now, like I said, they're coming out and saying the government is causing the earthquakes. Tesla created the earthquake machine. And sure, they know what it is, how it works, and all that, and are using it the same as the United States. People talk about the nuclear bomb. Our technology is so advanced, people. Just as, Billy Myers, when he came out in 1950 with his ships, that they don't drive around in those kind of ships. I don't know if he was really dealing with many or not, for real, because all his ships were going around trees and circles and stuff like that. But again, they're not driving around in ships like that anymore. The U.S. government got one, and we recreated one. But it doesn't fly like theirs does. We don't have the ability to stay in a spaceship that could travel that fast. So now, back to Turkey. The earthquakes are big. They had about 10 the next day, and they've still been having them all week, and now they just had a big one yesterday. All right. What I see happening, if Turkey's taken out Russia or China, I'm not sure which one is really going to take it over. But if they take it over, they'll have the center of all the biggest countries, right smack in all the big countries around it. And then if they take control over that, they'll have control over the world. Every part except the United States. But people, watch the charts. Watch the amount of people that 44,000 people died last week. That should wake you up a little from an earthquake. Yeah, their buildings weren't built the same way that they have to be built. But then again, an 8 or 9 could take anything down. All right, which will be happening. I pull up the earthquake chart, look at it, see the ring of fire, which is on fire. There's so many earthquakes in a day now, and they're all big. And the USGS doesn't show anything less than a 2.5. Puerto Rico and those islands around there have 20 earthquakes a day. All right, but they've been having super big ones as well. The Philippines are being bombarded by earthquakes. Now, Australia has the biggest army base on the planet. It's owned by Britain and the United States in Australia. All right, it's real. I had friends in Australia that talked about it, but very few people, you can't get near it, can't fly over it. So it's pretty protected. There's still pictures of it. Pull it up online. It looks like a bunch of snowballs, giant snowballs on the ground. All right. But in the interim, every island around Australia is having super big earthquakes for the past year. All of them. Pull up the chart right now. I could do it, but I'm not going to do it right this second. But you'll see how many earthquakes are hitting every single island around Australia. Every day. All the time. Now, Japan has been flooded with earthquakes recently for the past year as well. And to top it all off, Alaska has been getting super big earthquakes, which they never had. Every week. Something's happening. You play with something that you don't know what you play with, like CERN, the HARP system, and things like that. You're changing the vibration of the planet. And we have been. D, directed. E, energy. W, weapon. They hit the United States with it. We tested on ourselves. That's how stupid we are. All right. I'm not going to go into the details. The facts are out there, people. If you're willing to look and search and spend time, you can find out what's really going on. If you want the truth. Not many people want the truth. They want to hide from it. Getting back to the government's not going to admit that there's multiple races and we were brought here because it would screw religion's beliefs up and then everybody would be fine with everybody. Who would you follow? See, the idea was one God would be to keep us in control and thinking kind of normal. But when we each have our own God and create what that God's going to let us do or not do, we change it. And we change it for what we want, not what God wants. You think everything we do is based on a God? Of course not. Nothing we do is based on God. What spiritual thing did we create in the past 1,000 years? All right. Go back before 2,000 years ago, before Jesus came. Go back to beginning of Atlantis. The only time planet Earth was actually the Garden of Eden. And it was destroyed by you know who. And then there was 9 races, four stayed, black, yellow, red, and white. All right, stayed. And they were programmed to be massive killers. And we still are. Mankind learned to sacrifice, torture, abuse, which did not exist. All right. On the astral plane, there's 3 levels there. 3 is the number on the physical, astral, mental, and all the other realms. But when they say the 6th dimension, 7th dimension, it's just going inside the realms that are here, the 3 of them. And each one of them have 3 within each one of them. So it's like 3, 6, 9 in each realm rather than just 3. But when you're playing, I'm in the 6th dimension, you're still here. You're still in this dimension. You still affect what goes on in our reality. Which is where they're playing right now. So is who actually real? Who is real? So is who actually real? I don't know what that means. Could you just reword that a second? Who's real? What race? What alien races are here? Well, we got the Greys, Reptilians, the Nordics, the Mantis, that are ones we playing with. They said they're working with 27 alien races. The government, this person just said there's 57 alien races. I mean, there's a lot of races out there, but they can't do nothing. The old saying, the good and the bad. Who wins in a battle? The bad do. The bad people go on weapons. The good people just have to pray and hope that everything comes out okay. So there's a big difference there. And that's what happened in Atlantis. They weren't killers. So most of Atlantis was destroyed. Many of the spiritual people in Atlantis already left. But many people that weren't aware were terminated. The ones that were left created the reality that we're living in. All right? Which is not much better than 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We're still killing. We're still violent. We're still sick and perverted and twisted and all those words. You'd think we could have overcame that. Hold on, let's see. No, Lucifer didn't destroy Atlantis. All right. It was the reptilians and the Greys. Sorry. Lucifer is an angel, people. He's not the demon. Oh, my eyes are getting bad. It always happens. Satan's here. Satan dwells in this realm. Satan gives us the idea of pain, suffering, pleasure, and all those things. It gives people the desire to stay here and create more pain rather than go into the next realm and leaving. Satan doesn't want to be alone. Lucifer's an angel. He was an archangel, people. He didn't become a demon. He was cast out of the higher realms, and so was Gabriel and Michael and all the other ones. They were all brought down to the astral plane. But Lucifer is one of the higher ones on the astral plane that make decisions, along with the 3 gods that are there. Little gods, deities, whatever words you want. Satnam, Jehovah. And they're playing games. They're not playing games, but they are the ruler of that realm to make sure nothing goes beyond it. People don't have a clue when they talk about things. I spent my whole life dealing with this. And when I was young, I went through 14 religions, realizing not one of them could answer anything about God. Then I became a high priest, and I became a magician. All right. I work with deities and angels, which helped me a real lot. I had 5 death experiences. Then I spent 45 years learning to travel out of my body. All that helps. And I'm telling you, people, you need help right now. You need to find your guide, your spiritual guide, your angel, whatever you want to call it, and learn things that you're not learning from anybody on this planet. You can't. This is hell. Satan keeps control of that. Oh, I had a great experience. It's beautiful. What? Your sexual desire was turned up? People, man lives by the five senses of the brain. Not God, not angels, not anything else. Just the 5 senses. Love is part of the senses that man knows. And basically, love means what to people? Marriage and sex. Or I love my cat, I love my dog, I love a tree, I love a car, I love this. But what does that mean? Nothing. Do you love God? Oh, I love God. What do you love about it? Everything. What's everything? They can't say a thing what God is. Oh, it protects me. It loves me. No, it doesn't. Why do people believe, because they were told, that God has to love them? A rapist, a murderer, a killer, whatever words you want to use? Oh, God loves them. They're really doing good things? No. I can go on about that, but not here. All right, I just want to finish up today. Turkey is a sad place right now. Millions of people are suffering. I don't see how they're going to get the help. The death and the bodies and all that stuff, it's going to be contaminated. It's going to be horrible. It's not going to get better anytime soon. And with another earthquake, and it's still not over. Like I said, whoever wants to take Turkey out is doing a good job. And it's not God. People say, well, karma comes. We all have karma. The earth has karma. If the earth's completely destroyed, everybody deals with the karma that the earth has. But when a tidal wave hits and destroys a city, people that moved into that city, people that were born in that city, have that karma. Karma is critical in this reality, people. Buddha was right about that. You got to pay your karma off to get out of this realm. Meaning you can't go around killing people, beating people up. But then again, I was going to do a show. I didn't do it yesterday or the day before, but good and bad. What's the definition? Is there a good and is there a bad? Of course there is. Well, it's just, I like to say good, better, and best. But there is bad. Hurting. And what I'll say, when you go against the number one most spiritual law that exists in this reality that nobody follows, is the law of non-interference. Nobody has the right to interfere in anybody else's space unless they're brought into it or asked into it. Demons can't come in your house unless you invite them in. Do you know that? There's a lot of things that are based on that. But if you don't know it, you don't know the difference. You go to a club, pick up some energy, come in your house and bring it in. You don't know what you're doing. You have no clue. You can't see. People aren't aware of energy, demons, creatures, and all those kind of words. Never mind what they bring to their children. They teach their children lies. We're in a pretty bad place. So when we say, oh, we're becoming more spiritual, more higher developed dimensional beings, no, we're not. We got better toys to attack and hurt each other with. I still have my cataracts, and I debating on getting an operation on them or not. I don't want to talk about that. That's just one little thing that I'm not even thinking about. Still thinking about my teeth, still thinking about what I want to do. I'm 70 years old right now. How long do you think I want to stay here? I really don't want to stay here, but I got to take care of my situation, the partner I live with, and my dog. That's all I care about. People, do they want the truth? I mean, the few people that come on that are diligent are incredible. But all those other people out there, they'll turn it off. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the truth. They want to believe in the fairy godmother. They want to believe Jesus is going to save everybody. Jesus did not save himself for a reason, people. And when he was killed, his own followers had no clue who he was or what he was. It was Mary Magdalene that had to teach them and finish what Jesus couldn't teach them. So people, you want the truth, you want to live in the Bible that's written by man. If the Bible was written by women all the way through, it might have a lot more truth to it. Man makes man good and women bad. Always have, and still do. I just finished my book and trying to get it edited on a book, and it's called For Women Only. And basically it is for women only. Men don't need to read it because all I do is attack men in it. Because men are evil. Women are not, but we are becoming that. Programming over time usually manifests within that person. When I learned hypnosis at 12 years old, I worked with Kreskin. He said it was the power of suggestion. He said Hitler sent out words to his people and took control over them. All right. Basically, I can go into all the details about hypnosis and how bad it is and dangerous and everything else. And they say you can't make a person do something that they don't want to do, another lie. And all these things. Everything you hear, believe, and know is a lie. Some form, some way, it's twisted truth. Truth is you don't need to be here. Nothing you do here is going to make it better for you. Even if you went out and gave everybody on the planet $1 million, it's not going to make you a spiritual person. Even if you picked up every homeless person, brought them in, gave them a shower, and fed them, it's not going to make you a spiritual person. Don't say I have too much trust in women. No, women are being perverted by sick men. You think after 100,000 years they're going to be better? All men do is just use them as a sex object, and it has never changed, people. Women are abused, and that's why I'm doing this book. And I'm explaining to them the reasons and the ways and the whys, what they should do and shouldn't do. But you know, the problem is the few women that can't make money have to sell their bodies, and it makes it bad for all the rest of the women. When a woman's giving, I mean, you know, even in a nudist family, when a little girl's brought up nude and she goes to a party, she doesn't think of anything about taking her clothes off, but the guys around her do. It's pathetic what we do and how we program women. Greetings, you made it. Thank you for coming in. If you didn't see the beginning or you're just getting in, it's recorded so you can watch the whole thing from the start. This was a really good show. I'm glad you got to get into it. Had a lot of guests in. This show is recorded, so it's out there. It'll be out there for a long time. Send a link to people you know that might want to see it or should see it, if they can even listen to 5 minutes of it. People do not like the truth. I'm sorry. I went through it. I had 5 death experiences. I spent 45 years traveling out of my body. It is the most important thing you can learn. Because when you die, you're not going to be in this body. Guess what? This body dies. You don't, but your body does. Your consciousness is not coming with you either, people. Buddha's wrong about that. Buddha never met God or close to God. Buddha didn't believe in God. So, you know, here's the thing, people. I can only give you the truth. I am only, and I'm telling you the truth about this, I can't even think of the proper word. I am only dedicated and responsible to God. Nobody else. Not the government, not family, people, friends, none of that. Only the truth. Here, now, for me. All right? And you should be looking at your life. You can live 125 years as of right now, max. And anybody that wants to live over 100 is really pathetic because you know you're going to see all your family dying. If you want to live that long, that's your choice. I wouldn't want to see my children die. I wouldn't see my friends die and all that. I mean, I'm 70 and you know how my whole family's 99% of it's dead already. So my friends, when I was 18, 20 of my best friends died within a year. So, you know, thinking you live longer for what reason? Well, if you're not on a path of finding awareness and truth, you'll be reincarnating again faster than you know it. You only get to spend a few years on the Esther plane. I'd say roughly 5 to 10 years is usually how long a soul. I spend a lot of time there. Usually that's how long you spend there before you reincarnate. And then you're going to come back without any awareness of what life you had already. Their children are starting to become aware of their past life. One of them. Good step. Starting point. I'm aware of all my lifetimes back to Atlantis and one lifetime before this planet. So yeah, it takes that to become an aware being. Not just saying, well, I did my prayers and I'm spiritual now, or I read this. The Emerald Tablets, I mean, I don't know how many millions and millions of people read it, but how many people learn the exercise that goes along with it? It's not in the Emerald Tablets. Medicine woman I studied with, who is now dead, went into an Aborigine tribe, and they showed her the technique that you need to do to go through the word ascension, an abused word here on this planet. TJ, I don't know if you're still here, but the word is abused. Nobody is going through ascension here. Ascension means basically it's going through the pyramid, through the gateway, into the astral plane, into the place where you learn 32 psychic abilities. Name one person on this planet that has even 5 of them and can use them. Jesus had them all. Mary Magdalene had them all. I don't know anybody else other than Moses' twisted perception of what he had. All right. He killed more people than probably anybody else that lived on this planet. But here's the thing, people. Psychic abilities are not right for this time frame. You can't use them wisely. You change one event, you change the history of the planet. You don't have the right to do that. Not yet. Are you an aware being? No. Do you know what God wants? No. Do you know what's supposed to happen? No. So we think we're God and we play God. And that's why the world's in chaos. You know, we don't need better cars, better spaceships. We don't need to leave the planet. We can't live on planet Earth. Imagine if 8 billion people could work together. No homeless people, no starving people, and all care about each other. Imagine that. Imagine what would be created. But imagine this. How many countries exist and we're all fighting with each other? We all don't believe in the same thing. You'll never be a slave in heaven, people. Just so you know that. Heaven's incredible. Every step beyond the astral plane is incredible. You don't have a body. You're not into sex. And there's no stealing, robbing, cheating. Any of those words do not exist, people. Until you experience it, you'll never understand it. But that's a whole different teaching, which I wanted to do a while ago, and I didn't have enough people to even decide to do it. But people, heaven is incredible. I don't care what people tell you, because they aren't there. They probably have never been there. All right. And the books that write about it, people went to heaven. They went to the astral plane. That's not heaven. That's the extension of hell. And because of the Philadelphia experiment, hell is part of the astral plane now. And they're part of this reality. That's why more people reincarnate. They don't want to leave it. They're attached. They love, compassion, believe this reality is important. Saving people here is important. For what? You save a little girl in a sewer. Well, 44,000 people died yesterday. Does that make sense? That makes you more important because you saved this little girl? Are people helping those 44,000 people now? The families of them and whatever are left and the people around that? No, because there's multiple millions. Who's going to help all those people? You? Your prayer's going to save them? People, we are so unaware of the truth. We live in a lie. We live in an illusion. I mean, Buddha was saying like the world is an illusion. Well, people live in the illusion thinking, oh, I'm going to make it better. Can't make hell better. It is what it is. You are what you are. And all these new age, well, you can be the best you have ever been. Really, I am the best I have ever been because I am me right now. All right? You know, getting money and a job doesn't make you a better person, ever. Aliens aren't making people better. They ain't making people rich. They ain't helping people in any way, except winning their confidence. So when the time comes, they'll corral us. The population's going to be cut. I don't know if you know anything about doomsday, the end of the world, and all those things. Population's going to be depleted. Artificial intelligence will be running the world. There'll be few people alive, and many people will be living in the underground cities because the world will be radioactive. Now, beyond that, what do you want? What do you want here? What do you think you can do underground? Go swimming in the ocean? What are you going to do? What's going to be fun? Having sex? Is it going to be the only thing you're going to have? Oh, drugs, maybe. But you don't want people to go crazy in an underground city. You don't want a lot of things to happen. Who's going to control who comes in and who? Once a person becomes corrupted, what happens? Who's going to be controlling what kind of people live there in time? It's all a false idea of becoming better. In hell, you don't become better. That's why you reincarnate over and over. And it's hundreds of times, not 5, 10. Realize if you came down here in the beginning, how many lifetimes you had? Even if you lived 100 years in each lifetime, multiply that by the time where we are now. All these lifetimes, what did you learn? To stay in hell. You're still here. This is my last time, people. Unless I screw it up, which is possible. Angels screwed up their role. Ego. I was going to do a show on ego yesterday, too. I probably will do it tomorrow or the next day. But ego. We need a piece of ego to know that we are somebody. But when ego controls the mind and the mind controls your soul, you become a robot programmed for destruction. Not for yourself, for the world. Well, people, aliens are involved with all this. Just so you know, they have not helped us in any way to get better. Billy Myers working with the aliens. He made a prophecy, 100 prophecies. 90 of them came true, but so what? Making a prophecy and it comes true doesn't help us. Sergeant 18, Sean David Morton, both prophesied 9/11. Sean David Morton prophesied it in detail. Everything that happened 1 year before it happened. But I blame him. I say to him, why weren't you standing in front of the building the day it was supposed to happen? Why didn't you try to stop the people from going in? Even if you stopped one person, it would have been a difference. But you know, prophecies that tell you, well, the plane's going to die and everybody that's on the plane's going to die and it's up in the air already, guess what? Does it help those people? Of course not. Nostradamus made prophecies. Even George Washington wrote a prophecy. He was working with 7 angels. It's online, his prophecies, World War I, World War II, and possibly World War III. The Hopi prophecy shows World War I, World War II. The prophecy says, I was with Thomas Binyaka right before he died. And the Hopi prophecy says how and what's going to happen. It says, if the white man doesn't unite with the red man, the world will be destroyed. And it's the prophecy is written. It's in stone. It was underground cities where they found it. 2 lines. One splits. One shows World War I, World War II, and III, and the other one shows you a staff with food and vegetables and all that. It means we could change reality if we accepted the native people. But the same prophecy exists in Tibet, and Tibet was destroyed and taken over by China. So people, like I said, a prophecy is only as good as it happens to be put into place and used. When Adam and Eve, I don't know if you believe in that story, which was a story, didn't change reality. All right? But Sodom and Gomorrah, that changed reality. He listened. All right? Noah, if he didn't listen, guess what? The world would be different, if it would even be here. So, you know, a prophecy is only as good as the person hearing it and preaching it. Michael Scallion was the top psychic up until 1995. And he showed the world what's going to happen to it. He drew the world charts and all that. He kind of faded out after 1995. Sean David Morton was the top psychic until they put him in jail. People, there's so much stuff going on around you, and you're part of it. Water is contaminated around the planet, and it's not going to get better. The air's contaminated. The ground's contaminated. I mean, look at what's happening to the chickens in the United States alone. The bird flu existed when I was working for the phone company. And they said, oh, it only affected one bird. I was working for the phone company up on poles. On top of roofs, there were dead birds everywhere. And then when a large species dies, oh, well, like even when millions of birds die in a day, or scientists come out, oh, it must have been fireworks that went off, a bang, or they always say the most ridiculous things. All right. Don't listen to the government. Don't listen to your pastor, preacher, pope, whatever you're listening to. They don't have the truth. You don't stay here forever if you have the truth, and you shouldn't want to. Nothing good happens here, people. Do you realize that? Oh, but I had sex all week. Okay, that's the best it gets. Oh, yeah, it is. It was so incredible. I was doing acid, and all these things that keep people here. Sports. Taking money from families that should go to food and children and everything else. Paying to go see a game for a cheap thrill for 2 hours. Mankind sold out to Satan, not Lucifer. But Satan likes people, and he likes to give them what they want, people. That's why he'll give you whatever you want. Not because you'll become bad, but you'll stay here. Bring him back to woolly mammoth. What's that going to do for mankind? Anything? Let's bring back the dinosaurs and all that. Like action, what the movie, Jurassic Park, whatever it was called. Jurassic Park. We're in trouble, people. And you still can get your act together. You can still save yourself as soul. Not a human, but as soul. And move on. If you want to. If you're so attached to the 5 passions of the mind, lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment, that's your choice. I call it smoking, drinking, drugs, cheap thrills, sports, and sex is what keeps men here. All right. Global warming, when Al Gore came out with the word global warming, he never said what caused it. They came up with ideas what could be causing it, but there was no truth to what was really causing it. They made multiple lies. Everything you heard about global warming that they said was not the reason for global warming. They never mentioned 5 things that were actually doing it. Why is that? To this day, nobody talks about the real reasons behind global warming. It's not about car pollution. It's not about cow farts. It's not about styrofoam cups. It's not about antifreeze. And they reinvented antifreeze. Guess who was involved with that? Tesla. He worked with DuPont up in New Jersey, in an underground city. That's where Sargel and we did all our UFO stuff. People, I'm not like everybody else in the UFO world. I'm like none of them. I tell the truth. I experienced much of it. I experienced my truth, and I'm telling you. People, we were up there, we saw creatures and entities, things would follow us, and so these red eyes staring at us from everywhere. I mean, it was crazy. We used to get a rush from going there. That's why we did it. And when we brought people there, Sargel said, I cracked. There's one picture he copyrighted, but it's me, so I don't know if I could show it or not publicly. Anybody out there, let me know. If I'm in the picture, do I have the right to use it? That's a question. Legally, can he sue me? Because he said, I'll sue you, you use any of our pictures. Really? I mean, a few of them that I have that I didn't give him, I have and I can use. I have all his pictures as well. Personally, I can show them to people. All right? That's why I said, you want to get in touch with me, Hawksblood1AOL.com, and we can go from there. But I can't do a lot of things on this show because YouTube already threatened me. They gave me one more chance. I mean, if they take YouTube away, I'll have to go to another site. But as of right now, I mean, Link blocked me twice. I had 3,500 followers, sorry. And they stripped me of my show. I got back on under a different name. They found me again, and they took it away. So I just found out just right now before this show, I'm back on with a different name that I put up. I don't know how long they're going to let me stay there. They search. When you get back on, they ask for your driver's license, your picture, and everything else. They do research on you incredibly. So it's pretty much run by the government. People, look, I'm as real as it gets. Tina is as real as it gets as well. She's on the one side. I have never been abducted in a ship. I was next to an alien, 2 different aliens. I was next to a ship and all that. But they can't abduct me. And I can go into that story, but not now. People, please tune in. Got questions, text me, email me. Want a book, How to See a UFO? It's a PDF file. Read it. It might help you if you never saw a UFO yet. The spiritual side I'll do outside of this show because Tina has been abused, abducted. She doesn't believe in God's going to help her. She also doesn't believe the government's going to help her because they're not going to. You can get mentally disturbed medicine and pensions and medical from that. But you get abducted? Oh, you got a problem. That's your problem. You don't get help. People, they won't admit aliens are real because then they have to support all the people that get abducted as well. There's facts out there, people, that nobody in UFO world talks about because they're making tons of money. Take care. It's a pleasure having you on, people. Signing out. Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are. Don't stop until you find the truth. Tommy Hawksblood. Peace.